So welcome to this training, and this is, I like to call it informal type of training. If you have any questions at any point, you can just stop and ask questions. And the purpose, from what I understand, is because you have to create PowerPoint for the different trainings that you do. It's a good idea to get a basic understanding and some knowledge of how to set up a effective PowerPoint. So what we normally do is we show you the bad first. We show you what a bad PowerPoint presentation looks like, because we like to follow up the negative with the positive. Then we show you how to avoid those mistakes and how to do a really good presentation. And understand something. I'm going to be making mistakes as we create this PowerPoint, so that when you encounter mistakes, you know how to fix it. It's always easy to show someone how to do a perfect PowerPoint, but then how do you fix the mistakes that you're inevitably going to come across? I actually got a call from someone last night who needed help with their PowerPoint because they said it didn't look good. So I'm actually going to open up that PowerPoint. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it up so that we can see what it looks like. But first of all, we're going to start with a bad PowerPoint bad presentation, a bad slide. So each piece of a presentation, each page of a presentation is called a slide. So I'm going to ask, because this is very interactive, so you can unmute yourselves. I'm going to ask, what makes this a bad slide? It's a bad slide. We're going to say that from the beginning. No question about it. What makes this a bad slide? Ooh, some people are trying to get in. Give me a second.
Okay, the first one is mixed up with some capitalized letters, I would say, in the heading. I'm not sure, that looks odd.
Yes, that's very bad English.
Yeah.
But in truth, and we've seen this before, what makes this an ineffective, you know what, I'll use that term. What makes this an ineffective slide is there's too much information on it.
Yeah, it's all the small writing.
Exactly. Imagine you're sitting, and now it's different with Zoom because you have your screen closer, but imagine you're sitting in an audience and someone puts a slide like this up. You stop listening to them because all you're doing is you're trying to read everything that's on there. And what I've seen some people do, and I'm not going to make fun of pastors, but what I've seen some people do is they will actually read the entire presentation.
True.
That is terrible. First of all, you're wasting time. You've wasted time to create it and put all this information on there. But if you're going to read it, you might as well just put it up on the board, walk away and tell them, just tell me when you're done reading and I'll come back and we'll speak. What is the purpose of your presentation? Anybody can answer. What is the purpose?
You need to pass on information.
That's
Get
right.
the attention of your audience, and of course, leave somebody better than you met them.
Perfect answers. Absolutely perfect. You need to pass on information. I can tell you, if you look just at the first line, the first bullet point, be on time. That's it. That's the entirety of that section. You don't need the rest. Number 2, be prepared. You have in your PowerPoint the bullet points, and then you can just go and say, Sister Christian is coming on. You can just say, be on time. Then you give your anecdote as why it's important. Then you give your information why it's critical. And then you move on to the next bullet point.
Yeah.
Please let in Sister Hazel, Brother Robert.
Yes, she's in now.
Oh, thank you.
And you need to make it look attractive too.
Okay. Now, we're going to get back to that. Make it look attractive. In fact, let's move on to the next one, and you tell me if this one's attractive.
Oh, the colors are too much. The background is glary from my eyes, and I can't see properly.
This is terrible.
And to-do list, look at that, not spelled properly and not separated.
I couldn't even see that.
Exactly. This is what we call hideous. Now, one of the things that we mention, and this is something I've actually had to tell people, you want to make it attractive. That should be your last step. And we're going to go over why it should be your last step. Most of your problems come in when you're trying to make your presentation attractive. I'll give an example. Now I'm talking about a child here, but it stands to reason that it affects quite a few people. My son, when he was creating PowerPoint for his schoolwork, he would spend hours. And we're trying to figure out why is it taking you so long? We would check his homework. It just says, put in some pictures in his PowerPoint. He was spending hours on the font. He was spending hours on getting the pictures in the right places. He was spending hours on getting the color and the dynamics right and choosing the right scene. Those are secondary to your information. And I'll give you an example here. This is my last bad slide. Look at this. What message do you get from this?
Crazy.
Somebody's
I
brain
don't
is,
know.
somebody's mixed up.
If your job is to convey information, you cannot just open the floodgates and provide all the information at once.
No.
It should have been separated into maybe 5 different slides as examples. How much time you spend on a slide to create it is going to be longer than the time you spend on the slide to actually discuss it. So you have to keep that in mind when you're creating these presentations. Something like this, you have to go find the different pictures, download them, put them in their place. Now you've spent, and I can tell you this from experience, you spend most of your time looking for the pictures, and then you put them in their place. But when you go to explain this, you just have 2 sentences. What is IoT? It's Internet of Things. That's it. So you can say an example of an Internet of Things is your cell phone, a GPS, a computer, a smart house. That's your entire, so you spent 40 minutes to create this slide that you're going to spend 5 minutes to explain it. You're not, this is an utter waste of time. So do you have any questions of these 3 slides that we're showing here? These are bad examples.
Yeah, well, the first one we already spoke about, that it should be just big, huge, that you could see it from way back in the room.
Right.
In terms of bullet points, and just put the bullet points and then you elaborate when you're having the discussion. But those headings would be what people would recall. Being on time, and as you speak to them, that will be cemented in their heads. But it will be large enough that they could see. It's
correct.
Visual.
So let's go ahead right now and create this whole thing, how to make a good first impression. We're going to create this slideshow right now, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to create it properly. So I'm going to start up my PowerPoint. And I'm going to share the actual PowerPoint creation. All right. So this is my screen. How many of you are familiar with PowerPoint?
I am.
I am.
What I should have suggested is if you can open it up now and work along with us, that this way, when you encounter something, you can ask questions. I learn best when I'm doing. It may not apply to everyone. Some people may just want to watch, but whatever most comfortable for you, whatever works best with you, go ahead and open up PowerPoint and we will create this. So how to make a good first impression. You guys, I'll give you a few seconds to get that done and then we'll walk through this.
Okay, give me a few minutes. I'll have to get on my phone so I can use the computer for the PowerPoint.
Right. Or you can just shrink Zoom if you'd like to and bring up, because you don't need to have Zoom in front.
Yeah, just your camera will do.
Okay.
Welcome, Miss Sheila and Miss Laura. Excuse me.
Shrink,
PowerPoint in so long.
Please feel
When
free.
I was working, I had to use it. I'm retired now. I haven't used the PowerPoint. Oh my God.
PowerPoint can go from being really simple to really, really complex and time consuming. The idea is to convey your information as best as possible. And then if you'd like to do more, have fun with it later. But you really have to get your information in the way you want, especially as we'll see, there's some templates, and this happened to me when I did the previous training. There's some templates that you'd like to have that cause you more trouble than do you good.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That is quite all right. We're all learning together. Did you open it up already?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna come in on my cell phone, so just prepare to let me in now.
No problem. In fact, I'll let's see here. I'll turn off the waiting room for a second until you join.
Yes.
I could have opened up too. All right, so if you needed the ID, I could have put it. Oh, she's able to join. All right. We'll give her a second to get back on. Has everyone else had a chance to open it up if that's your desire?
I think I'm open.
No, Mr. Baker.
Yes.
I am not very computer savvy. This is Etheline speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, starting, so I don't even know where to begin.
Understood. Understood completely. Do you have PowerPoint on your computer?
Not really.
Okay. Now, each church has the ability to get multiple licenses through the conference. Sometimes. I'll put it like that. Sometimes you can check with your conference to see if they have access to multiple licenses of Microsoft Office. There are other ways to get it as well, less expensively, especially if you're using it for charity purposes. So there may be these options. I've actually spoken to the NAD about getting the ability to get cheaper licenses for their churches. We used to do it years ago. So I'm just trying to see if they're going to do it again. And if they do, this is something that we need to get out to our people.
Yeah, because these things could become expensive.
Very much so.
For the church and it's costing.
Right. I haven't seen her come back in as yet. I don't want to drag out too long.
Is she in a screen somewhere?
No, I don't see her back in.
That's me you're talking?
Oh, you're back in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me go through how to redo this PowerPoint presentation to look good. And we're going to go through the entire process. So bear with us. And like I said, if you have any questions, stop at any time. So from this screen, if you're familiar at all with Microsoft programs, at the top, you have the menu bar. I'm pointing and you can't see me point, but at the very top, we have the menu bar. And from the menu bar, you can create new slides. If you click on the Insert tab, you'll see it says New Slide. Can you all see the cursor right here at the very top left-hand side?
Mm-hmm. Those who have the PowerPoint blank thing open.
I just have my PowerPoint and it says good afternoon home news open.
Oh, you can click on new blank presentation.
New blank, new, okay.
Hmm.
And presentation. Mhm.
Okay, now I'm at click to add title.
Correct.
I
Well,
got
no, don't click
ribbon
on
at
that
the
yet.
top.
Don't click on that yet.
Oh, get back to it. Get back
No,
to it.
no. Your blank screen is fine.
Okay, wonderful. And
So
my ribbon is at the top.
yes. So we're just going to create a new slide. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the very top under the insert tab. If you can see the shared screen, I do recognize that if you have PowerPoint open up, you may not see the shared screen. So you can open up PowerPoint in a small box, not the full screen, and then I'll be able to show you from there.
Small boxes on my left.
Right.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
do I go to the column that says new slide?
Correct. And then just click on it to create a new slide. All right. So even where you create it, now for you, it should be just the first one. For me, it's going to be a different one.
My own say click to add title.
Yes,
Click to add text.
Exactly. That's perfect. This is what a blank slide looks like. So we're going to add the title, How to Make a Good First Impression. And as Sister Baker mentioned, you shouldn't, this is just proper English, you shouldn't have half of the words with lowercase and half of them with large case. There are rules behind this. Most of us have forgotten the rules, to be honest. But if the smaller words like to, a, at, for, they're not capitalized, but everything else is capitalized. Okay? So that would go in your title section. Now, when it's click to add text, you will type in your text. Now, as you can see from this slide, there's just too much text. If you're giving a presentation, you're talking and you're using the PowerPoint to give the very basics. That's what they will remember. If you put all this information in your PowerPoint, it's just too much to remember. They'll drown you out as they're reading. So the first bullet point is be on time. So that's the first thing you put in here, be on time.
That's not the title though.
No, not in the title. The title is where you would put how to make a good first impression. The be on time is where you would put where to add the text.
Where it says click to add subtitle. I got click to add title, click to add subtitle. I don't have anything to.
So what you had is you have a different slide. Let me see if I can create the one you have. Here we go. So you have a title slide.
Yeah, click to add title, click to add subtitle. So you just want me to just hit a blank title?
Right. What you need is when you click on the drop down to create new slide, you want to have
blank one.
No, title and content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Title and content would be the right one.
Okay. Okay. Click to add title, then click to add text.
Okay. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So you could create your title. And now the good thing is none of this is set in stone. So all of this, and I'll show you that all of this can be changed because not every slide needs a title. Not every slide needs text. If you create a blank one, then you will choose different. You can choose pictures. All of this is configurable. Okay. They just try to give you templates to work off of. So you have the first one added, be on time. You hit enter. Why, look, there's a new bullet point. If you want to add space to that, you hit enter again. Oh, look, there's a space and a new bullet point. So you can go back and say, what's my next bullet point? Be prepared. Go back to your slide, be prepared.
Beyond time. I got a bullet point and then I got beyond time.
Correct. And then your next one will be prepared. So you can either hit enter one time or two times, however you want it to be arranged. If you wanted to add spaces in between it, and then you put your next bullet point.
Okay, so be on time, and what's the other? Be prepared.
Be prepared. All right. So your fourth bullet point would be take care of your clothes and your overall grooming.
What about the third one?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what we're on now. This is the third one.
Oh, the third one, but you said fourth.
Oh, no. I'm not up to the fourth one yet.
Thank you.
So the third one says take care of your clothes and your overall grooming. That's too wordy. There's no reason to have it that wordy.
Take
What's
care
a
of your
bet?
overall grooming.
There you go.
Oh, so
If it's your overall grooming, it would include your clothes.
Okay, so just put overall grooming.
Consider your overall grooming, or something to that effect. As you can see, it's been a while since I've gotten a shave. Depending on the environment I'm going to, I want to get a shave. But you see, that's not information you need to put in there. You don't have to put, make sure your socks match, make sure your shoes are shined. That's what you can talk about at your presentation, but that shouldn't be on your presentation. And the fourth one is take into consideration nonverbal communication. That's actually not a terrible way of putting it. That's a positive way to put it. Take into consideration nonverbal communication. There may be a better way to say it. Can anyone think of a better way to say it?
Observe body language.
Right. Be conscious.
Okay.
Oh, no. It's just an example, and I shouldn't have used the word conscious because now I can't remember how to spell it. Conscious.
TIOUS.
You see, this is why we have to be careful what we put into presentations. Be aware of your body language.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. So this is a good example of don't get tripped up in your words as you're creating your presentation. Because once again, your presentation is not telling the whole story. It's just giving the bullet points so that when you give your talk, people know what to associate your talk with. Okay? So right now, what is your impression of this slide?
I like it.
Easy to digest.
Yes.
Easy to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. It's shorter, yes, much shorter.
It's
much
memorable.
Easier.
It will be memorable.
Mm-hmm.
But it is boring.
It's boring.
Yeah, if you just went with a black and white slide to your presentation, you're not. I hesitate to say impressing anybody, but people aren't going to walk away feeling this is great. That doesn't mean you have to have this, but this is rather dull. Now, here's where we get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
When you're creating your presentation, save often. I cannot stress that enough. Save often. And also remember where you save it. Now, PowerPoint, when you go to save it, there's many different ways you can do it, especially if this is the first time you're saving it. The most normal way is there's at the very top left-hand side, there's a picture of a floppy disk.
Oh, wow.
Even after all these years, that's still the save symbol. No one has seen floppy disk in at least 25 years, but that's the symbol. So you click on this, and if this is your first time, it'll ask you, where do you want to save it? Now, it's sad to say they've actually made this more confusing because they give you symbols, but they don't give you an explanation what they mean. So on the left-hand side, you have your menu. In the next left-hand slot, you have places you can put it. And in the very last spot, the very last column, they have places you have previously saved things. So when you first look at it, you're like, what does all of this mean? Now
Okay,
on the
can I
Yes.
say what mine says?
Yes,
Did you open your floppy disk?
I clicked on the floppy disk. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't see the floppy disk.
At the very top left-hand side,
I see file.
it
No,
should be
above
right
that.
above file.
And
A
you
little
make
square, a little square box.
mine says autosave. You can put autosave on and off, and then right next to that is the floppy disk. So that it's right
Interesting.
above where the file stuff
Oh,
is.
I'm sorry. I also didn't take into account people having different versions of it. Yes. So, yes, if you see the floppy disk, that means save. If this is the first time you're saving, it's save as. So you determine where it's going to be saved.
So
And
above
then,
file is that little square box.
correct.
And so I'm going to click on that little square box.
Yes. All right. And then you should see sort of what's represented with what I'm sharing on the screen.
Yeah, save this file.
Right.
Mine says presentations, file name presentations. It gives me a name right there. Then it goes down to choose a location.
Okay.
Mine
So
says,
I'm guessing you have 2013, Office 2013 or PowerPoint 2013.
Mhm.
And they've made some changes that's supposed to make things easier, but doesn't always. So if you're still able to see my shared screen, I'll just go through this, and yours may be a little bit different, and you can just ask me questions. I may allow you to share your screen so we can see what it looks like. But normally I have set places where I save my files. I'm very drive oriented. That way I can remember quickly. The good
Wait.
thing about, yes?
No, I was gonna say it did show me. It's choose a location, but it did show me documents, and then got my name and all that.
Yes, yes, yep.
Mhm.
So oftentimes now I don't save files to my documents. That's just me. If it's easier for you to do that, but I deal with a large amount of files. So for me to organize better, I have everything into sections. So if I'm working on a church project, I'll have a folder for the church. I'll have the date or the particular program that we're doing, and then I'll save it in there. And even there, I'll have some special things under there. But just for the sake of brevity, we're going to click on my PC, and then it'll show you what pops up is a box that allows you. I don't even know if this will be shared, but it allows you to put it in a particular place. So for now, we're just going to put it in my documents. And the original name is PowerPoint training, and it takes that from what you put in your title. So whatever your first slide is, whatever you have in the title of your first slide will be the generic name that it gives you, and you can rename it. There's no harm in renaming it, just as long as you remember how to find it. Okay?
Okay. Now I got a screen that says save as, and it's got recent, personal,
Yes. Yep.
other locations like this PC or add a place or
Right.
browse. So I'm going to go under this PC.
Correct. In truth, you don't have to do it that way. You can just use one of the folders that's on the last column if they're familiar with you, if they fit with what you want to do.
Custom office templates, medical missionary training. I do have some
Exactly.
documents.
So yes, you can save it to any one of those, or you can find a new place to save it. And this is important. So ask all the questions you want. One of the worst things that happened to us is we create something and then we can't find it. So all the time we spent creating it becomes useless. Nothing will teach you file management better than losing an important file.
Okay, so I press save as, and then it will take me to this PC. So I press on this PC.
You could, yes. And then what will happen is another screen will pop up that'll show all the folders on your PC that you can search through.
Document or desktop.
Correct. Now, I suggest in this case, my documents, desktop is fine too. Some people are very strict about what they have on their desktop. Me not so much.
I'm been scolded by my older son for leaving too many things on my desktop.
Yeah, it's not what I would encourage. In this case, we're just doing it for a quick test, but yeah, it's not what I would encourage. Later on, we're gonna close it and then open it again so we can find out exactly where it is and see.
I do have an option of a new folder. I can put it in a new folder.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
You just have to remember where that folder is.
Oh, well, maybe I should put it in a new folder.
Hello. If you, sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
My daughter just said I needed to update this thing. So I am seeing what you're doing, but I can't do it. So because I need to update the iPad.
Okay.
I'm taking notes.
You're not alone, sister.
And I will, and I mentioned this the last time. This will be a video that I can give to you or distribute to you that you'll be able to follow up with it. I just have to be reminded sometimes that I need to give these videos.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm going to guess that everyone's been able to save this, because now we're going to try to, I'm not going to say mess it up, but I'm going to show you what happens once you start to make changes to them. And sometimes you're going to hit a change, you're like, I don't want that. And now you can't figure out how to get back. But because you've saved it, and you've saved it often, when you're happy with a place that you're at, save it. Because sometimes you'll mess it up so much, you just have to, it's faster to just start from scratch. But if you save it, you can at least go back to the point you were at before. All right. So here is where many people lose the most amount of time. They realize that this is dull and boring, and they want to make changes. One of the first things you might do is, what pictures could I add? What picture would be on time? Maybe a picture of someone with a watch, right? So now this is going to be harder. You won't be able to see this, but this is what I suggest you do. If you want to get a picture of someone looking at their watch, you can open up Google or any browser that you use. Go to google.com. And there's going to be a search bar. So in the search bar, you're going to put looking at watch. And I'm sort of going through this really quick so that, and we're going to go back over it shorter. So you click at looking at watch. And then there's a tab that says images. So you click on images.
Right.
Oh, there's some pictures of people looking at their watch. Excellent.
Yep.
Let me copy one of them. So you click on it. And then it shows up bigger on your right side. I know, I apologize, I'm moving quickly, but there's a point to it. You don't have to do this, but there's a point to it. So, I want this picture. You right click on it and you say save image as. There's a whole, when you right click on this picture, there's a lot of different options that come up. Halfway down the options is going to be save image as. You're going to click on that. Now, most likely you'll put this image in the same folder that you saved your PowerPoint as. And trust me, you don't have to, if you're not following along quickly or it seems like I'm rushing through it, this is an example of the trouble that you're going to go through when you try to pretty these things up. Okay, so we're going to go back to our PowerPoint now, and we're going to add the picture. And once again, it doesn't really matter the picture that you're going to add because it's going to be a different picture per experience.
So you can pick any picture that you want?
Correct. You can already have the picture. You could have just downloaded the picture. This is just when you go to add this picture. So in your menu bar, your ribbon, there's going to be the insert tab, and you click on that. And for some of us, the third tab says pictures. When you click on pictures, you see two options. You may see two options. Let me know if you don't. And I'm going to slow down here.
Mr. Baker, I'm just stuck.
I understand. Which part are you stuck at?
I'm stuck still at the PowerPoint trying to figure out how to navigate to Google to
Okay, understood. You don't have to do that part.
Okay.
That part is going to your browser to try to download a picture.
Okay.
You don't have to do that part. I was just giving an explanation of how people end up losing time, which is a perfect example. But if you go back to PowerPoint and you go back to your menu, there's the button that says Insert. Do you see it?
Next
it's right
to
at the
home?
top.
It's next to home.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so click on insert.
Click on Insert. And then for me, the third button under Insert in the menu ribbon, which is what they call it, is Picture. Now on mine, when I click on Picture, especially if I click on when I click on Picture, it says Insert Picture from this device, which means I would search through my computer to find it, or it says Online Pictures. Do you have that option? I know some of you have an older one. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine
Online
is
picture.
old. Mine is old. I'm on my laptop instead of my desktop.
So
So insert picture from. It says file disk.
Right. So if you choose that option, you can search through your computer to find out where you saved a picture.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't like the ones they gave me from Online Pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I had another question.
Yeah, my own says online search from insert picture from online pictures or this device.
Correct. So here's where you might save time. If you click on Online Pictures,
I'll call you back right after.
You can actually search for it right here. So instead of having to go outside the program to do it, you can do it from inside the program. That doesn't mean it's going to be very effective, but we're going to give that a try. So if you click on From Online Devices, you should get another box that says Insert Picture. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then it says Bing Image Search.
Yes.
With a place on the right where you can type in something, right?
What should I type in there?
We're going to type in looking at watch.
Yeah, mine is already in. It says looking at watch.
Really?
Well, probably in the wrong place.
So when you do that and hit enter, you get a whole lot of different pictures. In fact, some that don't work whatsoever.
Okay.
So there's a lot
of looking at watches.
Right. So I have a nice one of this brown-skinned gentleman dressed nicely, looking at his watch. So I'm going to click on it one time and then click on insert.
Okay. Insert. Okay.
So now if you can see, there's this, now he's giant. We don't want him that big, right? Is everyone up to the same point?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, excellent. And this is why I say this is time consuming. So around this picture, you see quite a few dots, right? If you click on the side, if you click on one of the dots, you'll see the arrow changes. It'll show you directions that you can go with the picture. Okay, this allows you to shrink or enlarge the picture to make it fit your presentation. Let me know if you don't see that.
Okay. I did bring it down from the top, bring his head down a little bit to make him look shorter.
Right.
Squat.
But because he was the full length of my square, you know.
He was a giant.
Bring him down a little bit.
All right, so now once you have him shrunk, you can actually put the cursor on any part of him and move him around. Do you see that?
I got him to the right.
And once again, that's a style thing. There's no right or wrong to that.
Right.
But you see the process now, so you can start to add pictures. quite easily from within here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move a little bit quickly. If you need me to stop, I'm just going to add a picture for each option. And we're going to use the same process. And once again, that's if you have the option to do it online. It's just a faster way. Well, it's supposed to be a faster way. Now it's going slowly.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
I was sidetracked a little bit there. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I have the picture there, but I'm looking to get it to fit in the area of being on time.
Okay, excellent. So if you click on the picture, you're going to get a box around him with a couple of different dots. So if you put your cursor right over one of those dots and hold down your button, you can shrink or enlarge him. You can flip him around. You can manipulate him basically.
Okay.
That's from the little box or the large box? It's from the little box or the big picture that comes out?
The big picture that comes out.
Oh, awesome. Yes. Yes. Now I could get him smart.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So that's Beyond Time. And sad to say, there's still so much more. We're just going to work on this one slide, and you're going to see how much you can do, but how much time it can take. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of other pictures. Prepared. And once again, this is up to your creativity. And we can teach a whole lesson on how to properly search for something and what type of pictures is helpful to add, but that is outside the scope of this. Body language.
So now, Robert, it looks to me, because of the size of the slide, that just adding that Be on Time picture, it should be at the side of the word and not directly under it, because.
Yes, you see, this is another one of those creative moments. You can be as creative, you can have your words in different areas, but then you also have to remember how your audience's eyes are going to move in conjunction with what you're doing. So we can have be prepared all the way over. I don't know if you could see my screen, but we can have it so it's closer to the.
It moved to the guy, yeah.
Right. So you can have that, but the truth is you want them to focus more on the points than the pictures. The pictures are just supposed to enhance the points.
Okay.
So if the pictures are taken away from the point, it's not a good slide.
Okay.
So you can also have the gentleman as small as possible, but now he's hard to see.
And then you're straining your eye.
Right. So now you're trying to figure out, once again, now you're just trying to figure out that your audience is, what's that man doing? They're not listening to you. They've lost track of what you're saying. They've moved on.
Yeah.
If it's big enough, they say, okay, be on time. You know, as you give your explanation, make sure you check your watch and you're ready.
Yeah. I chose a little picture with two hands, one with the watch and the other hand pointing to the watch.
Right, right.
So I have a little picture. Okay.
So we see this slide. If you look at my slide, okay, it looks better, but it's still rather boring.
Mhm.
It is. The black and white is boring. So at this point, if you're happy with your pictures, what should you do?
Save
Put
it.
some colors in the
Save it.
background.
Save it.
I'm sorry, Miss Baker, you're incorrect.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
supposed to
Save it.
save.
Save it.
Save it.
Save it.
I am going ahead. Oh, yes. Causing trouble.
So
Shame,
you
shame.
save, you save, you save. And now you say, okay, what can I do to make it look better? And
Okay.
here's where another set of time gets lost. Okay. One of the easiest things you can do is, okay, let's change the font. How many of you have 1,000 fonts on your computer that you can go through to make a different impression?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try a couple of different ones to see what and I think I have about 1,000 on this computer, which is honestly way too many, but you know. Ooh, bold. What do you think of the bold headline if you can see mine? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't go through how to change the font. Okay.
Oh.
When you
Go on.
click on any of the words, if you just click on any of the sentence, you'll see within the home bar, right here, in your third section is your font section. It says font right below it. Do you see that?
In the home bar.
Yeah.
Right. If the home tab, if you click on the home tab.
And mine comes up to the side though, Robert. It says Calibri Body 28 font
Okay.
size. Yeah.
Right. So within the font section, if you have any trouble seeing it, please let me know. Or you can just take a look at my shared screen and you'll see it. It's this section right here. Sister Wilson, you see it?
No,
Where you have B and I and U and S, you know.
Right, right.
I'm clicking on home, but I'm not seeing the font sizes.
To your right.
Yeah, do you see a section that says font on it? F-O-N-T?
No, maybe not. Mine doesn't say it, but I kind of know.
Right.
So once I clicked home, to my right, I see slides, and then I have the box that says the word that tells you the type of font.
Right.
And then the number that tells you the size.
But my home word is not on my right. My home word is on my left still.
No. It's on your left, but the things we're telling you about is bottom of that home to your right.
Okay, so if I click on that home, I should see some results.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look.
The ribbon underneath should show the different sections. And I think your version is close to mine.
Sister Wilson, do you see any number on below that line where home is written?
I just see format, painter, clipboard.
Yes, keep going.
It's in that area.
Yeah, keep going down to your right.
I have a lot of room there for me to see anything more.
Oh.
So my PowerPoint is set up right there. So where do I go from there?
Maybe you should look on Robert's screen first and then look at yours.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Robert, maybe we'll make our screen smaller and yours could be bigger so we could see. What happened?
Just other things. Sorry, now I'm gotten distracted. Please forgive me. All right, do you see my screen, Sister Wilson?
It's small on my computer, so.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to show this. All right, so if you know what, here's an easy way. Here's an easy way, because as soon as you highlight a word, to highlight, you click and hold down your button, and you can scroll to your right or your left to highlight.
Mhm.
As soon as you do that and let go, the font box comes up. Does that happen for you?
I slide from the home corner.
No, if you go over one of the words, okay, one of the words that you've put into your slide, if you highlight a word, in fact, just double click on a word, any of the words in there.
Slide.
Would she be better looking at yours, Robert, as you? But
Still
she
not getting
still
it.
has to move her hand. Yeah.
Right. So you see that my cursor is just over a word. Any word, if you double click on it.
Right now, I'm not even seeing your cursor. I was seeing it all the time, but I'm not seeing it right now.
Oh, so it must have shrunk.
Okay, I see a word say font. Should I click on that?
Yes.
Yes. So what happens when you double click on it, you get the option to change the font. And changing the fonts actually do make different impressions on the audience. So you can, but you don't want to get too lost in the fonts. The best fonts to use for a presentation are bold fonts, big block fonts. Unless you're doing something really, really specific that you want something fancier, because these are easier to read, especially if you're doing it in a room. Once again, on Zoom, you can, if you're fitting a smaller area, if you're trying to give a presentation in a room, block fonts are much easier. And one of the good things about PowerPoint is it'll help you see what each font looks like. The crazier script fonts are terrible.
No.
Absolutely useless. These, oh my goodness. You know, they may look good if you're writing a story, but in the context of giving a presentation, they're just not good.
My computer is plagued with Calibri and I hate it. So I always have to change it. I always change it.
Yes.
To Arial. I like Arial. Yeah.
I am a big fan of, well, because of the work I do, we have the tendency to be in block fonts, but block fonts that are really compressed together aren't good either.
Yeah. Squishy.
This one is a really nice one.
Yeah.
It's simple, but very easy to read. And that's the key. You want your presentation to be easy to read.
So Pandara?
This one is Helsinki.
Helsinki.
Finland.
Yes. I nearly said Germany. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay.
Is everyone with me?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Sister Wilson, which part do you need?
I get the words and them, but I'm not seeing that it's Helsinki, you said?
Oh, no. Yes, you may not have the same ones as me. I have a lot more that usually comes with the computer, so you don't have to find that one. Okay. But you can use any of the ones that are on your list. You just have to find one that's pleasing to you and that you think would be effective for your audience. Yeah. But now I'm going to move on to another option you could have for making your presentation pretty. All right. So we have, I would say, 2 more options. And I'm probably undercounting 1. But at this point, you might want to use a template to make your presentation look good. The reason why I suggest using a template be your last step is because it may make changes to what you've done that you don't like. And so instead of doing that in the middle and then trying to make your presentation fit the template, you really want the template to fit your presentation. So if you want to change your presentation, you can just right-click on your slide and choose from the drop-down that you get, choose Format Background.
On the word slide?
No. Yeah, no, just right click on any of the white points on your slide.
Oh,
And you
okay,
should get a
okay,
drop down, yeah.
okay.
So one way to do it is to just change your background.
That's the part that say format background.
Correct. And so you can add a picture to all your backgrounds. You can add a pattern to your background. And then as you click on these things, you'll see different patterns. And the truth is, most of them are hideous. Most of them you would just never use. The gradient fill I like because it allows you to go from one color to the next. That should be your second option.
Which one is
gradient fill. Gradient fill. That means the color will slide from one color to another. It's usually a very subtle, mild look, and it doesn't affect you because it's not a template thing. Sister Wilson, you do not look too happy. What's wrong?
I okay, I just trying to figure it out.
All right, no problem. I want to make sure that you're capturing. And a good thing to do is as you go through some of these steps, you can take your time and see what they do. But this is why we say to save, because once you save it, you can do anything to it. You don't have to worry about it. You can always come back to what you had before. Does everyone see the gradient fill? All right, so you can also change the colors that it goes from in your gradient fill. And you can come up with some really interesting colors. Once again, subtle is better than amazingly bold and obnoxious. So what you see on my screen is no longer subtle and it's not good. I do focus quite a bit on the not good, and what they do teach you is that it's better to focus on the positives. So we're going to focus on the positives here. If you make a choice that you don't like, you can always reset the background. It's all the way at the bottom right-hand side, and it says reset background. If you do find one that you like, you also have the option to apply to all, and that's at the bottom left-hand side, right-hand side as well.
So the gradient fill, it just keep like changing. I mean, if you're okay with that, can you leave it there?
Yes, you can. And then you also have the option to apply it to all. That's the easiest way so that all of your slides look the same.
Oh.
Okay, so even when you add new slides, it will look the same. So that is one. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Fill, where do you go from there?
Oh, once you're finished with it, you can just close it. You can just hit the X.
So you right click on that.
You right click on the clear background and choose format background. And then you'll get the box on your right-hand side. And then once you're happy with whatever you've chosen, you can say apply to all or reset.
Yeah, I chose a light blue and I'm going to say apply to all.
Right. Light blues are very good, especially if you just have a plain white background. And this is the simplest, most easiest, usually most effective way to add some color to your slide without going overboard.
Where is the apply to all button is?
All the way at the bottom right-hand side.
All the way to the bottom.
Mine has this word, solid fill, gradient fill, picture or texture fill, all the way down. And when you get right at the bottom, it says apply to all. in mine anyway.
I'm not seeing that apply to all button.
Oh, it might be off your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, on yours, are you able to drag the PowerPoint a little bit higher up? Because I'm guessing it's not full screen, so it might just be off the bottom of the screen. So if you go to the very top bar of PowerPoint, click and drag it up.
Yeah, you could move the whole block.
Mm-hmm.
Apply all.
I am not getting through with that.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if you can share your screen. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute.
Apply to all.
All right. So I've stopped sharing. Do you see? You can make your PowerPoint full screen now. If you double click on the top bar of your PowerPoint, it should go full screen for you.
Well, my full screen is just showing your face.
Oh, right. So
he has to choose gallery.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you, we want to switch you to open up your PowerPoint. So if you hold down your Alt key and hit Tab, it will show you all your, just keep holding down your Alt key and hit Tab, and it'll show you all the different programs you have up.
You have an alt key to your left and one to your right. Which one?
Yes, either one will work.
Either one.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one key to hold down?
Yes, just hold down the Alt key and hit your Tab button one time, and it'll show all your different programs.
Which is the tab button here?
The tab should be on your very left-hand side, almost in the middle of the keyboard, right on top of caps lock.
Right on top of caps locks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key you keep tapping to move.
Right, you don't have to hold down the tab key, but you do have to hold down the Alt key.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just leave my finger there on the Alt?
Yes, and hit your tab one time, and all your different screens should pop up.
Okay, so I hit it I hit it, my finger was on it for a while, so right now it's on your face. Could I go back there?
Yes.
Okay.
Once you release the Alt key, it's gonna go to whatever you're highlighting.
Okay.
So if you hold down the Alt key and hit Tab one time, and you see all your windows, you just have to hit Tab until you get to the one you want, and that would be your PowerPoint.
Okay, so I think this is what I'm looking for here with my PowerPoints. Yes. Okay, so am I going to click on that?
You're going to, yes, once it's highlighted, you can let go of all the keys. Let me know when you've gotten it.
I think I got it, but I lost my way back.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
no, as long as your PowerPoint is up full, and then you double click on the top, it should fill up your whole screen. Do you see that?
Unless, for me, I just press my little box next to the X, and it just becomes larger or smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm listening because I wasn't following you. I only got all my little stuff on, my little pictures on. That's it.
No problem. No problem.
He's going to send you're going to send the
I will send the video so that we can go through it all. I mean, you can see what we've gone through.
Okay, so then if we see the video, maybe you should move on. I shouldn't hold you up. You should just move on.
All right, no problem. So I'm going back to the PowerPoint. And so we're going to cover one more, I should say two more ways to add life to yours. And one of them is really complex. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it yet. This is really supposed to be a basic introduction, but it's good to know what's possible. One of the other ways to change the format is there's a design button on the very top menu. If you click on the design button, it gives you a lot of different options with colors and fonts. And I suggest you be very careful with this. But there are some very good options in there to help you create your presentation. But as you go through them, you'll notice that some of them just don't work. You can just scroll your cursor on top of it and it'll show you what your presentation will look like. So some of them just won't work. Some of them will make your presentation look far worse, and some of them will work. So you're able to decide, or once you make these changes, you're able to apply them to the slide or to the entire presentation, which is another reason I really suggest you get it done first and then see if it'll work for you. All right.
Oh, and you have a lot, Robert. Yes. I have a few.
Even if you only have a few, if you click on this tiny drop down arrow on the left side of your menu, your right side of your menu.
Yeah, I see the rest. Yeah.
Right. It says more, and then you can browse. You can even browse and download new ones. So you're not restrained. But some of these are just
tedious.
Yeah, they don't really help enhance. They make things prettier, but maybe not better. So it's really up to you to find out what works for your presentation. So now, lastly, in terms of, oh, wrong one, sorry. This one's terrible. Okay, I'm sorry. Someone said they have to leave. We'll get you the file. Let me put this back to normal. All right. Nope. But you see, this is why we save, so we can always go back. There we go. All right. There is also something called animation. If you've ever watched a slideshow and you see that as people click, things move and they dance around. How many of you like that?
I like it.
It depends on what you're doing.
Some people do. It's too busy for me. It makes my eyes dart all over the place.
I've actually found them to be less effective unless you're doing something specific. If you're giving a talk and you click and you know within 5 seconds you need a boat to show up, then it's useful. But quite often it can be more difficult. But I'm going to walk through this very briefly to show you how you would do that. There is an animation tab.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Okay. So as you highlight a certain section, you can have it do these moves. You see the moves at the very top? So you can have it, let's just try appear. And you'll notice that now a button shows up.
For animation, in animation?
Correct. If you highlight a section and you click on an animation, a number appears. And that means this is going to happen. This is going to be the first thing that happens after this screen comes up.
Okay, I see animations, and I see non-replay rewinds appear.
Right. So highlight a section and then click on any one of those options, any one of the appear, fade, fly, whatever. And then what happens is within that section that you've highlighted, a button shows up or a number shows up.
1.
Right. So now move on to your picture and then click on an option. Ooh. You'll now see that that's 2. Do you see that?
1, and I click on the picture.
Then you click on an animation.
I don't see no animation.
Well, the animation is the things at the top bar that say this is what's going to happen when you press a button. This is what the picture is going to do. So
animation, trigger, pane, with that one, right? What it's gonna do? Add animation?
No. If you add the animation, it's just going to be any of these stars that you click on. So you see on the left-hand side of the animation bar, those options that you were reading out, the appear,
it says
the
view,
fade.
preview, the preview one.
Right. Well, after that, the preview will just show you what you've chosen. But to actually choose it, you choose one of the options up top.
Appear, fade.
Correct. That's
Oh,
I got that. Appear.
Right.
Okay, I click on appear.
All right. So you should have a 1 and a 2 on your screen.
I don't. I have a 1.
Okay. So when
one, and then I click on the picture.
Right.
And then it gives me the outlines it. And
right.
then I have to click back up again on appear again.
Correct. Because now you're going to apply one of these animations to that section.
I'm getting it. Okay. Text to the object appears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you still click on the picture. Yeah, you can choose any of them.
I'm doing that, but let's see. When I click on it, it just gives me a little red box that says 1 right next to the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tell me to click on the picture, the same picture.
No. Well, if you start, you can start with another section then. If you
go to another pick another picture and then
correct.
click on
a picture or a word or the one of the bullet points.
Okay, that's 2. Okay.
Okay.
Click on another picture.
Right.
And say, okay, that's 3.
All right. So at this point, you can click on any of the numbers, any of them that you've already assigned.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the top right-hand side, this is where you have your options. You can either start it. You see where it says start on click? That's usually when you're giving your presentation and you're talking, and then you say, okay, now I'm ready to show this. It's going to show up when I click a button. Or if you don't want it to do on click, you can set a duration of how long it's going to take to show up. Or if you set a delay, it's going to show up after a certain amount of time. All right?
That's what timing. That's what the timing is.
Yes. Okay. So if you time your presentation where you're just talking, you're not taking questions, you're just talking. I have not seen that used very often, mostly because people change the flow up of their presentation. So if it's made to appear at a certain time, it may appear before they're ready. It's easier just to do it with a click, and you have a clicker, which I have one somewhere in here. But if you're sitting at your desk giving a presentation to people on PowerPoint, then it will show up as you click. And now I'm going to show you what it's going to look like.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. First, I'm going to put this into presentation mode. Oh, wait, I'm still sharing my screen.
Yes, you are.
What do you see right now?
Well, I see 2.
Overall grooming.
I see I misplaced my stuff. Okay.
All right. So we're going to go to a previous slide, and then we're going to go to our slide. And as you can see, we're missing the first 2 lines because they're set to show up when I click. So on my next click, be on time, and you should always be on time. I click again, the man shows up, then my picture. So then my next click, and when I'm done talking about it, make sure you're on time. It'll be a good impression. My next click, be prepared. And then I give my talk, and I'm saying, if you really want to know if you're supposed to be at a place at 10 o'clock and it's 9:55, are you really ready? You see? So this is how you can set these timings in to enhance your presentation.
Okay.
Everyone understood?
I got that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I understand, but now I lost my thing.
You lost your bow and your clarinet.
Yeah, I'm lost, man.
Yes, and in truth, this is a very advanced step in terms of presentations. This is just to show you what is possible. So in terms of presentations, in terms of PowerPoint, really the baby steps are getting the words you want in there correctly, getting the graphics you want in there without overwhelming your picture, creating each slide to be as simple to read but effective in that the information you want is presented. Sometimes you may need to have just a couple of words on each slide. It's better to have a 20-point PowerPoint deck. That's what they call slide decks. It's better to have 20 PowerPoint slides with just enough information to remember than 3 PowerPoint slides with more information than anyone can absorb. And then at that point, when you have that set up, you can start working on the background colors or the format that you want, or if you want the animation. Animation has to be your last step. It just has to. You can add music, you can add videos to it, but once again, those are actually easier than putting an animation.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you, the steps you make, first of all, is think about what you want to say, then start creating your slides. As you create your slides, you may have to adjust and say, maybe I don't need 4 bullet points on here. Maybe I need 1 bullet point per slide with a big picture, and the big picture can enhance what you're saying. That might be easier to do and create than trying to cram everything in here and figuring out where I need these pictures to actually go so they don't look foolish.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how to create. I know we went a little bit over. I apologize for that. This is how to create an effective PowerPoint.
And
Do you have
you were very simple.
questions?
I mean, you were very simple. You were very precise and very clear and everything. I just wasn't fast enough to keep up with you. That's all.
No, yes, I understand. And sometimes we're trying to cover a lot in one day and it may be a little difficult. So I apologize. And like I said, I will get these out to you so that you can follow. You may have to fast forward through some points, but you will get the overall information. And what I strongly suggest, just start out basic. Don't make things too difficult for yourselves. And then build upon what you've created. And the best advice I can give you is save, know where you save, and save again.
Save. Okay, better be safe than sorry, right?
Gospel. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on and try it myself.
Yes, please do. I mean, you can't, there's no harm that you can do. If you make a mistake, it's easy to start from scratch.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I would I thank the ladies for their interest, and I'm going to try my best to accommodate you for any further training that you may need. Just speaking with the CEOs of the group and see what we can come up with. But Robert has promised to send this in a video so we can brush it, over it again another time. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thank you all very much. Thank you so much, Robert. I know
you're quite welcome.
Went a little over time, but your mama needed this much as everybody else. So we are very appreciative of you. And so let me just say a prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you praise and thanks that you have chosen us to work in your vineyard. It is a high calling, and sometimes we become frustrated because we're not able to perform at the level that's needed. So I ask that as we brush over these videos, that your Holy Spirit will grant us discernment and that we'll be able to do what is required. Thank you for allowing Robert to give up his time. I pray that you would bless him too in his work and be with his family and all of us. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Robert.
Okay.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
All right, I'll bug Robert to send the video.
Yes, I need to be reminded.
Okay. All right, thank you.